Hello, Star Bear Cubs. Welcome to my next Pick a Pile reading, where I invite you to go on an intuitive adventure and pick whichever pile you are drawn to, the first one that you are drawn to using your intuition, your gut instinct. And the theme for this Pick a Pile reading is, what is your greatest hurdle? So if that question resonates with you and you would like to continue on this adventure, then take a few moments to see which pile you are most drawn to, and I will just give you a closer look at each of the stones here. So we have Sunstone, we have Malachite, we have Sodalite, and Hematite. Okay, so which pile are you drawn to the most? Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4? Take a few moments, pause if you wish, to pick your pile. There will also be a timestamp in the information box below, as well as other information about this reading and the decks that I use. So if you want to go to the timestamp once you've picked your pile, then you'll be able to go directly to your specific reading. And I'll see you over at your pile. Welcome, pile number 1s. You who picked this gorgeous Sunstone. So let's take a look at your pile. First card out, we have Death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So this is a card of transformation. The Death card in traditional tarot and in this deck as well, evidently, is not actual death, but the death of something, the ending of something, so that it can be transformed, or you can be transformed, or a situation can be transformed into something new and better. And then we have Work Through Your Fears. It's very interesting because the theme is, what is your greatest hurdle? So it would seem your hurdle is working through your fears, or whatever your fears are. And maybe one of your fears is literal death, or just change and transformation, having to change and transform. I feel led to read from the book, actually, because this actually goes really nice with the Death card there. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. Might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. Right. So it's also sort of a heads up that this transformation that you might be afraid to go through is not going to be superficial at all. It isn't going to be something as simple as changing the color of your nail polish or getting a haircut. Just saying. And then we have Go the Distance, but it was in reverse, which means that we read the protection message. The essential meanings of Go the Distance are endurance, strength, the long haul. The protection message is, do you feel as if you've been wandering in the desert now for ages and ages and nothing is happening? When you conjure up the image of a desert, you picture parched lips, sunburned skin, and mirages, but there's more to it than that. Amid the hot sands are creatures with resilient spirits, tough skins, and the willingness to burrow deep underground for water so that they may thrive. This is a time of developing survival skills and resilience. You are learning how to conserve your strength, and in this temporary time of austerity, it's wise to be selective about where you expend your energy. Listen to the call of your soul, because it will never lead you astray. This is an important time for letting go of what's not important. I want to emphasize the part about the animals digging deep underground to survive, and so that they can thrive. Doing what it takes to thrive. Thrive is an important word here, I feel. because sometimes we need to go through uncomfortable changes in order to thrive. I know I've said this in a previous reading, but I'm going to just assume that you haven't seen that one. Or if you have, you know, it's a good metaphor. So it's about why lobsters shouldn't have doctors. Because if a lobster went to see a doctor, it would just keep prescribing medication. You know, every time the lobster got uncomfortable in his shell, he would just be given medication to numb the pain, as opposed to him being drawn to just shed his shell so that he can grow. So in other words, it's good to feel uncomfortable sometimes, because that discomfort is what tells us it's time to grow and change and transform. And if the lobster was afraid to shed his skin, to shed his shell rather, then he would never grow. So it's about working through that fear, maybe the fear of change, the fear of growth. And it's interesting that we have the scorpion here, which looks a lot like a lobster. So that's that message. Then we have island solitude. Perhaps that's another hurdle, is the solitude. That time alone to reflect is another thing maybe that you are avoiding. It's a hurdle for you. Maybe you don't like to be alone. You like to be around people. Maybe you're an extrovert. Maybe you gain your energy from being around other people, and so you're not getting that alone time you need. Or maybe your lifestyle, your schedule, your work responsibilities are preventing you from having a time of solitude to be introspective and meditate and reflect on what it is you need to change or to transform in order to thrive. Because it seems to me there's something preventing you from growing and thriving. That is your hurdle. So the message is to try to find a way to get that alone time so that you have time to reflect. We also have ancestors, generations. And this card can mean a few things. It means that you are being guided by your ancestor spirits. This card is about seeking advice and guidance from elders and guides, mentors, therapists, somebody who can lead you and guide you through this next process. I don't know if this is advice or whether this is another hurdle, something you're not willing to do. So maybe some of you are not willing to get therapy or counseling or seek guidance from someone. We don't all like to talk about those things, those deep, uncomfortable feelings. To dig really deep into the recesses of our mind or our hearts and pull out the skeletons, pull out the Pandora's box and open it. That's not really a lot of fun to do, but you're being invited to seek out somebody who can help you with this process. And here we have a snake. Earlier I said shedding skin when I meant to say shell for lobster, but it is also about shedding your skin. And because snakes also go through a kind of regeneration, rebirth process. In fact, a lot of animals do. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I realize this might seem contradictory to this card, which is about solitude, but this card is more so about reflection. Self-reflection, and that is something you can do with the help of somebody who's a professional, or at least somebody who's a good listening ear, a good shoulder to cry on, a good soundboard, and or even a good journal or diary to write your thoughts in. All right, now we get into the tarot portion of this. The Hermit, yes. This Hermit is basically this card. So it's just an affirmation, a clarification of that same idea of reflecting within, taking time out. You see he's sort of alone on a mountain. So to meditate, to pray, to reflect, to maybe read or study or learn something more. It's also this idea of he's got his dream, his hope in a lantern as a reminder of what his goal is. So for some reason, there's something in your life that needs to change and transform. I don't know whether it's your external circumstances or internal, but something drastic needs to change. And that is your hurdle. You don't want to face that. You don't want to face that truth, or you don't want to, or you know what it is, but you don't want to have to do the work. So you're being encouraged to really make the time for the work and not to give up when it's feels really, really hard. So this is the 10 of Wands, which is the burnout card, giving up. You've spent so much of your time and energy defending something, an idea, a passion, a project, or yourself, and you're just ready to throw in the towel. You're ready to pass the baton to someone else to take over for you. But when it's in reverse, it means don't give up. Don't let the challenges, the fears of what change would do, don't let that stop you. And then we have this 7 of Swords. This is the energy of being sneaky, deceptive. Someone is stealing something. It can also be the energy of taking back something that is yours, or even an energy of protecting, being a protector of something and not letting others take it from you. What I find very interesting about this card actually is it's 2 cards after the 5 of Swords, which is the bully card. It shows a guy, he had been battling with others and he won, but it doesn't seem like it was a very fair fight, and he basically has all 5 swords to himself. I like to see this card as a continuation of that card, and this is like taking back what's yours, taking back what was taken from you. I don't get the sense that this is about sneaking around and stealing and being deceptive, malicious, unkind. I don't see it as that. In this context, I see it as taking back what is yours. Maybe it means taking with you what you need to when you transform, when you make the necessary changes in your life. It's about taking with you what you need and leaving behind what you don't. And not to be, maybe it's an encouragement to not be afraid of the transformation, because what is most important will come with you. Yeah. And then I also drew from the In-Between Tarot deck just for clarification if it was necessary. And so I'm just curious to see what came out here. We have, both of these are reversed, but in In-Between Tarot, it just means that you are stuck at that stage and not ready to transition to the next stage, which is interesting because we're talking about transition and transformation. So King of Swords is all about logic and mind over heart, or head over heart, thoughts over feelings, very rational, but very fair as well. If there's a legal matter, the King of Swords is a very good energy to have on your side. It's about fairness, justice, and truth and clarity. Now, as you can see, because it's the In-Between deck, it's the idea that he is now preparing the next page of Swords to become the king. So it's the idea of passing on the knowledge. But because it was reversed, you're sort of stuck in that King of Swords phase. Interesting. If we're going to tie this card in with this card, which I just explained, which also involves swords. Yeah, so because this was reversed, as you can see, the king is passing on this sword to the next page, or the next heir to the throne. Because it was reversed, it means he's not doing that. He's not yet doing that. He's not passing on the sword. So this could be a really interesting way of saying that you're not willing to let go of certain thought patterns. You're not willing to, pass them on. You have some burdens that you're carrying that you don't need to. And even though you're being encouraged to not give up, there's also this idea of you need to pass on to someone, pass on to others what you can, what you don't need to deal with, whether it's a problem, an issue, something unresolved, maybe some piece of business, some order of business. If it's something that you can pass on to someone else in order to speed up your ability to make your transformation, then do pass it on to someone else. And if there are teachings you can pass on to others as you go into your transition, then do pass them on. So it's, I guess what I take this to mean is that you have a truth or a lesson or something that you need to tell someone and you're not telling them. If swords represent truth and communication and thoughts, and as I said, because this is reversed, he's not actually passing the sword over to the page. So there's something that you are afraid to tell someone. There's a truth that you're holding on to, and that is also hindering your growth. So you're being encouraged. Okay. So this could also mean that there are some things that you can keep to yourself and some things that you need to share with others. Whether it's a secret or sharing your feelings, your thoughts, an idea that you have. Maybe it's a criticism that you've been thinking about that you need to tell someone. Constructive, of course. Or advice that you've been maybe wanting to give someone and been too afraid to. Whatever it is, there's some thought or communication that you aren't sharing. So you need to decide what's worth sharing with others and what you keep for yourself, which will help you with your transition, your transformation. And this is the Ace of Coins, which is the Ace of Pentacles. It's the gift of a new beginning, a new opportunity. It's change, but it was reversed, which means that I take it to mean you're not willing to accept it yet. The universe is giving you this new opportunity, this change, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, or just a new version of yourself. The universe is offering it to you and you're not taking it yet. That's what I understand that to mean. Now we have some animal cards, starting with Cougar, confidence. Be bold and take charge. So whatever this situation is that you need to communicate about, or even to take that time alone that you just don't want to. You're maybe afraid of facing whatever's inside of you. To do that healing work and to do that transformation, make that shift. Again, whether it's internal, it doesn't have to be internal. Whether it's internal or external, like making a move, changing jobs, or just dealing with, it could even be a legal matter, because we have the King of Swords here. There could be a legal matter, a court case. Some kind of legal battle is happening. It could be happening for some of you, right? So whatever this issue is that involves a huge change, a huge transformation, this is your hurdle that you need to overcome. And so you need, the Cougar is offering you confidence. Be bold and take charge. We also have the Shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth. Oh, the truth of the situation. Okay, so that's another tie-in to this. I love this card because it's so multifaceted. There are so many angles to this card. So we could use we could use the message of the shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth. You could see him as sneaking into this camp, right, behind these people's backs, and using his instinct to discern which ones to take and which to leave behind. There is a discernment process in this card, in this context, deciding what truth to share and what truth to keep to yourself. We also have humpback whale. Music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. Not really sure why this card came up for you, but maybe this is an indication that listening to music will be helpful for you in your time of solitude and your time of introspection. Maybe this is a hint to do some guided meditations as you work through your transformation, as you discern what you need to do, what you need to take, what you need to leave behind, how to best make the transformation happen. Maybe you are being invited to listen to music to keep you balanced and grounded throughout this time. And maybe there's a message there that means more to some of you than others that I can't even uncover. Maybe whales are significant. Then we have lion, courage. I love it. Ask for what you want. So if you are needing, again, here we said you could ask for help from a therapist or elders or guides or mentors or somebody who is really wise, right? So ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to do that. And to close, I drew some Archangel Michael cards. The first one we have is, the person you are asking about is trustworthy. I find this very interesting. Here he is holding a sword. There's a lot of swords in this reading, right? So I see a direct connection between, I don't know if you can see that, between this card and this card. They both have a person holding a sword upwards, pointing up. So I see this card as connecting to this. So the person who you are reflecting on what truth to share with them, they are trustworthy. If part of your hurdle is not knowing whether they are trustworthy, if you can trust them with the information that you're going to impart, whether it's advice or, like I said, a secret of some kind, something important, an important piece of information, maybe it involves a legal battle or a legal matter, whatever it is, the person, if this resonates for you, for those of you who resonate with this part of this pile reading about sharing important information with someone, that the person that the first person you think of when if you need to share information with someone, they are trustworthy. The next card is Go Forward Fearlessly. I love it because that ties in nicely to this card, Work Through Your fears of change, your fears of transformation. And the prayer for this is, thank you for walking with me every step of the way, for holding my hand, giving me confidence and courage, and guiding my thoughts and actions in the directions of love and my true life's purpose. Yes. So this transformation that you need to go through, this death, this metaphoric death that you need to go through is ultimately going to take you towards your life's purpose, or the next level or phase of your life's purpose. The next Michael card you got is Detach from the Situation, which is emotional. It can mean emotional detachment, stepping away from something that you feel too close to see the bigger picture. It can also literally mean remove yourself physically from a situation, which ties in nicely with either taking some time alone or making a move, doing whatever it is you need to do to survive and thrive. Or even to seek advice from somebody who can take a detached perspective and give you impartial, unbiased advice. And there's the sword again. Not all the Michael cards have swords, but you've gotten 2 now. Okay, and last we have make a commitment. Archangel Michael, as the angel of courage and confidence. I think we, oh my goodness, look at this. Courage and confidence. Right. Courage and confidence. Oh, wow. I did not plan this, by the way. These are just the cards that came out for pile number 1. Anyways, allow me to commit myself, my life, and my divine purpose. Sorry, allow me to commit to myself, my life, and my divine purpose. Please clearly guide me so I can fully open my heart to every experience. Yes, or this could also be read as, please guide me so I can fully open myself. Crack open, right? Shed my skin, move my business, move houses, end that relationship, or whatever it is. There's a big change that needs to happen. And you're being invited to go for it. Get over that hurdle of not wanting to do it, not wanting to make the change. Being the lobster that's getting the, you know, the painkillers from the doctor so he doesn't have to actually go through the transformation. Don't be like that. Don't be like that, lobster. Be the brave lobster that sheds his shell, the snake that sheds her skin. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Take some time out and go forward fearlessly. Best of luck, pile number 1s, as you go through this big transformative change that will be for your greater good and your divine purpose. Take care. Hello, pile number 2s. You're the ones who picked this gorgeous malachite. So let's take a look at what is your greatest hurdle. The first card out is failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Of course, this could be an actual failure that happened, or something that you perceive as a failure that was literally a hurdle to achieving or accomplishing something, but it could also just be a fear of failure as being the thing that's holding you back, a form of self-sabotage, right? Not even trying because you think something might fail. But let's dig a little deeper. We also have don't let pride get in your way. Yeah, ego is a real doozy. Pride is definitely something that doesn't want you to fail. So your hurdle seems to be something to do with your ego taking the reins and perhaps stopping you from trying to do something or from doing something that would be for your greater good because of fear of failure. But let's dig a little deeper. Next we have exchanging gifts. But it was in reverse. So I will read the protection message. The essential meanings are the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing costs, and determining value. Be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it, and then realize you don't want to face the hefty price tag that comes with it. You may find yourself in a situation you've always desired, but know you will have to walk away from, or even fail at it. Oh my goodness, that's a nice synchronicity. Or even you're something that you are afraid to fail at. Because you can't or won't pay the dues it asks of you. If you want to be a famous musician, you have to practice your craft every day. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to be responsible for managing the money and paying the taxes. Even a windfall bears a cost. It's okay though, because Spirit will help you achieve balance over time. Another message here reminds you that being only the giver and not the receiver plays out in many relationships in your life where you find yourself in victim mode, in a codependent dynamic, or holding on to a false sense of control. Others may push you to continue to prove yourself. The time has come to distance yourself from this kind of imbalance. Being aware of the need for both give and take is the first step to your true destiny. It's all good and getting better. Not only can you handle this, but you can flourish as a result of it. Wow. Okay, so there's some need for balance here. So you're part of your hurdle is an imbalance. Maybe you're somebody who gives too much when you're not getting enough back. But let's go on. Interestingly, the next card that came out was Happy Happy, which is number 26. The card right before the one you just got. The essential meanings are joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. Your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the shackles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy moment to moment, for you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. Okay, this is really interesting because for a reading about what is your greatest hurdle, like Happy Happy is one of the best happiest cards of this deck. It's achieving absolute abundance and satisfaction and happiness and contentment. I mean, she's got the star. So why did this show up in your reading about your greatest hurdle? It could be that Spirit is telling you you already have everything you need to achieve your goal, your destiny, but you don't seem to know it. Now, this wasn't in the reverse, interestingly enough, but I think that's because you do have it. But maybe I'm looking at these two cards. She's happily holding on to her star, her gift. In this card, she's handing a star to the cat who's sort of needy. Give it to me, give it to me. There's something keeping you from recognizing the abundance that you have. You already have everything you need, but perhaps you don't see it, or you haven't taken it. And there's an element also of giving too much of something away. Maybe you're giving too much. Perhaps somehow by giving someone too much of something, you are closing yourself off to your happiness. Boy, this is a real mystery. We need to dig a little deeper. The next card is Cave, Sanctuary. It's an invitation to set aside some quiet time in nature, to step away from the confines of your house. Looks like he's painting. He's an artist. Maybe there's something that would make you really happy, but you're worried that you will be a failure at it, that you won't be very good at it. And your pride, you don't want your pride to be hurt. You don't want to feel like you're not good at something. Maybe you spend a lot of your time giving to others, or you volunteer your time to help with a cause or a charity. And you're spending a lot of your time helping others but not investing in yourself and finding your happiness that's just within your reach, because there's something that you are really good at that maybe you haven't even explored. Yes, I think you're being invited to take some time to figure out what that thing is that makes you happy. And your hurdle is not only fear of failure, but also that you're putting too much time into other things. Maybe as a distraction, or maybe because it makes you think that's what makes you happy. You think that what you're investing your time in right now, not to say that it isn't a good thing to invest your time in, but maybe you're putting more time into that thing than you need to, because there's something out there that would make you even more happy. Whether it is becoming an artist, a painter, or musician, dancer, engineer, designer, screenwriter, architect, I don't know. You name it. Rock collector. Whatever that thing is, there's something calling you. There's a happy voice calling for you, beckoning you to come and find it, because it's closer than you think. Then we have vigilance. Now this is interesting. This is about how you should be careful, be cautious. It's about being wary of a certain situation or people or a person, and it's about trusting your gut. It's about paying attention. When I see this card, and I do believe this is the intention of the card, it's the idea of a watchman, a watch person, a guard, a sentinel, somebody who's sort of at their post to guard the entrance of to the city or the village, and it's their job to notify the authorities if there's any danger in the distance coming towards the people. This is interesting. I'm not sure whether this is an encouragement to be less vigilant because you're hyper vigilant because of your fear of failure and your pride, or if there's something you need to be vigilant about. I'm going to go with hyper vigilant for the time being, but we'll see what else we get. We also have lightning, power. Oh, I love it. This is about how you have power. You're embracing your inner power, knowing when to use it, when not to use it. So it's also about putting your energy in the right place, putting your powers of manifestation into the right place. And can I just point out that it looks kind of like lightning is striking her, doesn't it? You can almost see this as a continuity of this picture. So you're being encouraged to take your power, your talent, your skill, your passion, and put it into your happiness. Invest it into whatever it is that makes you happy, and not to be afraid of failure. Don't let your fear of failure be your hindrance or be what holds you back. Okay? Now let's dig a little deeper. Wow, this guy has been showing up a lot. I talked about the Five of Swords in pile number 1's reading, but of course this card didn't show up. So the Five of Swords is about, it can be like the bully card. That's what I call it, the bully card, because he kind of looks like he's not very nice, and he clearly was dueling with these guys and he won the duel. But the idea behind this card is that it wasn't fair. He didn't win fairly. He didn't play nice. And they even look a little bit sad. They look like their egos really took a beating. Maybe this is what is making you afraid of failure. Maybe in the past you did pursue what it was that would make you happy, and somebody was very unkind. Someone made you feel like a failure. They did hurt your pride and your ego. I think one of these people is you in the past, and this is why it's a hurdle. You don't want to go back there and face the bully, the critic, the one who will put you down. Unfortunately, the world is full of those kinds of people. Regardless of how good you are at something, how skilled you are at something, the world is full of people who will put you down. But the idea is you don't stop, because for all the people out there who would criticize your work, your passion, your hobby, your craft, there are just as many or more of those who will support you, raise you up, praise you, compliment you, because there's a lot of power in what it is that you really want to do. And even to do something that you love, that you put your heart and soul into, puts a lot of positive energy into what it is you're doing. So don't let the bully be your hindrance. I think this is why you're hyper vigilant. This is why you're protective. This is why your heart regarding doing what you love has become hard like stone. That sounds like a really harsh thing to say. I'm being very, very metaphorical. Of course, your heart's not stone, but when it comes to doing what you love, you've made yourself hardened to it in a sense. But we have 10 of Pentacles, which is a wonderful card of abundance, material success, a legacy. You've made so much money doing what you love that you have a legacy to pass on to others. You're at the very top. Tens are completion, and in the suit of Pentacles, it's a very good completion. It's getting everything. The home, comfort, having a fortune, having wealth to share, even to share with others. And if you do what you love and pour your heart and soul into it, using your incredible talents and gifts and abilities, you can go back to giving back to society. You can do it from a place of empowerment. You can do it from a place of success. And there will always be chances to help others. And there will always be others who need help. But don't forget to help yourself as well. Help yourself get to this place. The maximum potential. And yeah, we have 3 of Pentacles reversed, which is feeling overqualified and unhappy in the job that you're doing. He's showing them how good he is at what he's doing, and they're watching and sort of critiquing his work. So this can denote not getting enough payment or recognition for work that you've done, and wanting to find something better. You're starting to feel overqualified for whatever it is you're doing, and you're going to want to look for something even better. And in reverse, I take that to mean that you really are ready. I see this as an emphasis on moving towards your goal and your passion, regardless of what the critics say. And for further clarification, we have some cards from the In-Between deck. So we have King of Wands, and he is the go-getter. Now in this card, it's a woman. In the traditional tarot, obviously it's a king, it's a man, but wands are passion, desire, your hopes and dreams. And in this deck, it's in the upright, which means not only going forward and confidently achieving his goal, going after his goal, and becoming an entrepreneur and being top of the field, but also passing on the knowledge to the next generation, perhaps becoming a mentor yourself because you've gotten so good at whatever it is you're doing. And look at this again. There's another tie-in to this Exchange of Gifts card. We've got this King of Wands embodied by a female, passing on the knowledge to this little girl who's going to learn the trade. And we have this same symbolism here of passing on the dream. And yeah, we have with the happiness card, she's holding a star, which symbolizes your dream, your success. And so now you've turned, before the hurdle was giving too much of yourself and your time and your energy, and which was taking away from your passion. But now, if you can get over that hurdle and pursue your passion, then you can share your knowledge, share your wealth with others from a more positive place that doesn't bring you down or weaken you or hinder you in some way. We have the Nine of Cups, but in reverse, which basically in this deck it just means that there's no transition to the Ten of Cups, but this could denote that there's some singlehood, perhaps a fear of singlehood, or that there just is singlehood in the cards for you, but it is still success and victory. There's still 9 full cups there. This idea of you have so much, you can share it with others. In the traditional tarot, it's a man sitting smugly, happily, victoriously, triumphantly, enjoying the spoils, his wealth, and there's 9 cups on the table to show that he is going to host some friends. So he's again sharing the wealth, sharing his love, his bounty. And in this card, it's a woman coming with a whole bunch of fish that she caught. So it's still a very positive card. So you have the 10 of Pentacles, which is wonderful. That's material, wealth, and abundance. And you have the 9 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. It might mean singlehood, but there's still a lot going for you, a lot to share with others, a lot of positivity. And then we have 6 of Coins, which is fascinating because this is the exchanging gifts card, basically, but in the tarot. And it's balance. It's deciding where you want to put your energy. And in this particular deck, it's calling on the help of others. In this deck, it's leading into the 7 of Coins, which is starting to put in the hard work towards your passion. Once you've decided where you want to put your effort, which is 6 of Coins, or maybe even asking for assistance. Maybe you're going to need some monetary assistance in order to pursue your dream. So this is asking for that assistance, gaining equilibrium and balance, and preparing yourself to put in the actual effort towards your goal. So don't be afraid. Don't let your pride get in the way of asking for help. If you need money, if you need a grant, if you need a loan to pursue your goal, don't let your pride get in the way of that either. And that's what this is about. I love all the tie-ins here. So many synchronicities. You guys got a lot of cards. I just have to say. And this is 3 of Wands. And 3 of Wands is starting to wait for your ships to come in. You've planted your seeds, or you've sent out your emails. You've put your resume out there. You've signed up for a course. You've done some work. And now you're waiting to see what comes back. You're waiting to receive. So you've given some energy to the universe, and you're waiting to receive something back, to get a sign of, are you on the right track? Is this the way to go? So this is just more energy of discernment. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that some ships won't come back, that some seeds won't sprout. But that's not a sign to give up either. That's not a failure. If you plant a whole garden of seeds and only half of them come up, don't look at the half that didn't come up. Don't see that as a failure and just uproot the whole garden and start again. Take what you have. Look at the half that did grow and work with those. Because it always takes a few tries to start something new, to learn a new task or a new skill. So don't let your pride be a hindrance, and your fear of failure be a hindrance. Perhaps adapt your perception of what it means to fail and what it means to succeed. Now we've got some animal cards here. We have Chameleon. Stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. So the idea of a chameleon is, of course, that they alter their appearance. This is like the shapeshifter card. So I don't know if chameleons mean something to any of you, but I understand this card to be connected to your hypervigilance. Maybe you're being told to have faith, that you don't need to have your walls up against those people that might criticize you and bring you down. Just adapt your skills, adapt your sense of what it means to succeed and what it means to fail, and leave room for faith. Leave room for your higher guidance to help you in this process. It doesn't all have to be you. Leave room for divine inspiration. Don't try to be too controlling of the process. That's what I get from that. We also have Wolf, Guardian. You are safe and protected at all times. Interesting. This also ties in with the vigilance. I really think they want you to take your guard down regarding your passion, whatever it is that you want to put your time and effort into. Know that you are safe, and your work, perhaps the work that you are doing, is protected. And we have Dolphin, playfulness. Take time to play. Yes, I mean, look how happy and joyful she is. She just looks like she's been playing all day. And that is actually what what it feels like to do something you love. It's fun. So do the thing that's fun. Do the thing that it feels like you're playing. You know, painting is one of those things. Finger painting, watercolor. There's so many different ways to make things and be creative, and it's fun. So that's what this is about, is to make sure that it's fun. It ties to this card as well, I feel. You know, don't have your guard up. You can't have your guard up and have fun at the same time. You have to let your guard down and let yourself play as you discover your passion and pursue it and make it a reality. And we have a few Archangel Michael cards to close as advice. We have Innocence. Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see that all of your qualities of pure love and light are reflected within me and all others. Help me embrace my God-given innocence so that I may be at peace. Yeah, so perhaps in the past, when you dealt with the bully, the not nice person, the critics, those who turned their back on you or ganged up on you or stole your ideas or something, they made you feel like a failure, and they harmed your ego in a very deep-seated way. So this could mean two things. This could mean that you are being encouraged to see their innocence and forgive and let that go in order to move on and let your guard down, or also to see your own innocence in whatever you were made to feel that you failed at. Forgive yourself, forgive them, and let that go, and don't let that be a hindrance either. And to go with that nicely, we have be gentle with yourself. Archangel Michael, please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt or failure to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. Beautiful. And last, we have sense of humor. Oh, doesn't that go wonderfully with the dolphin? Playfulness. The prayer is, thank you for helping me see the humor in this situation so I can lovingly laugh at human nature. I'm willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. Yeah, certainly there's some healing that needs to be done to let your guard down and to restore your sense of confidence and self-esteem. Yes, for sure. But also, sense of humor is something you can incorporate into whatever it is you're bringing into the world, whatever you're manifesting, creating, whether it's music or art, whether it's writing, whatever you do as a profession, whatever your passion, career, or profession will become, you can bring some humor into it. Make it fun. Again, it's about making it fun. You could also make it funny for others. Maybe you'll be a comic book artist. Maybe you'll be a comedian. Who knows? So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I'm very excited for you. I really hope you can overcome the hurdle of the fear of failure and pride and the hurt that people have done to make you feel like you can't pursue your passions. And remember not to put too much of your precious energy into other things. Again, you're doing good work with that, but save some for yourself so that you can help yourself to thrive and grow and do what you love. Best of luck to you. Hello, pile number 3s. You picked the Sodalite stone. So let's see what Spirit has to say to you about your greatest hurdle. First, we have courage. Oh, isn't that a hurdle for all of us? I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Okay. We also have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Okay. Maybe your health literally is a hurdle. Maybe you are sick. Maybe you were recently diagnosed with something, or perhaps you are concerned about your health or the health of someone else. I mean, we do have a pandemic right now. It could be that simply that the pandemic has created a hurdle for you in some way, and also created an element of fear in your life. We also have believe in the impossible, the blue moon. You know the saying, once in a blue moon, that the impossible can happen. So there is something that you are hoping or wishing or wanting that you think is impossible. Maybe that's the hurdle as well, is thinking that something that you want is impossible. But luck is on your side. Luck is on your side for something to happen that you once thought was impossible. I don't know whether that's healing from an illness or a sickness that you have, or someone you love, or gaining courage about something. Let's dig a little deeper to see what else we can uncover. We got never-ending story. The essential meanings are self-criticism, the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. The Oracle's message is, there is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering, born of unnecessary dramas. It is the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Oh wow, I'm seeing some tie-ins here. Something that you were told cannot happen, is impossible. Sorry, you can't see the card there. The blue moon card. Maybe health. I didn't even touch on this before, but the health could denote mental and emotional well-being or lack thereof because of some ongoing conflict or trauma or abuse or criticism. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story. And the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part. Small and vulnerable and easily soothed. Wow. Finding the inner strength to face fear with confidence. The fear is that voice that you hear in your head that tells you something that you want or believe is impossible and is causing some mental health issues or some emotional trauma, turmoil, what have you. And to go with that, the next card is time for a nap, which means exactly what it says, that you need some rest. You need some time to recover and recuperate from these ideas, whether they come from outside or within. These unhealthy, unhelpful ideas and thought patterns. The essential meanings are rest, rejuvenation, and renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise, giving yourself a chance to dream about the impossible. Aim your arrow at your goal. And this is a neat contrast here, that you're aiming your arrow towards you're aiming your arrow towards the unknown. It's just a dark moon that you can't really see, so there's an element of faith that what you believe and what you want to achieve is possible, and that it is there. It's right there. It really is there. But there is some element of PTSD or recovery that is needed because of some unhealthy thought patterns, repeating feedback loops of criticism, doubt, disbelief. The Oracle's message is, this is a time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your lists, your desires. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom if you don't step back, take a seat, and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. Another element of this time for nap card is that when you sleep, you dream, and you're able to truly experience the feelings of the reality of something that you want, unhindered, unfettered, without any doubt. In the dream world, truly in the dream world, anything is possible. So it's this idea of taking what feels real in the dream world, a dream of yours that feels real, that you want to make real, and bringing it into reality, as luck is on your side. But there's also the element of needing a rest, because there are some of you who probably do have some actual physical health issues. That could be some of you in this group. And don't forget to take time to rest. Give your body a chance to recuperate and regroup from the self-limiting beliefs and ideas, or even limiting beliefs and ideas imposed on you by others that made you feel like what you want is impossible, which seems to be what your hindrance is, what your hurdle is. Then we have, to be fair, number 38, which reduces to 11, by the way, which is an angel number, a beautifully auspicious number, that you have divine assistance and help, and also to look for signs and synchronicities. This card means balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. To know that the work that you're putting towards your dream that you thought was impossible, to know that there is an effect, there will be results, there will be fruit, there will be a harvest. The Oracle's message is that life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being, from stasis, to doing, from discovering, to loving, to letting go, to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. So this is the idea of karma as well, for those of you who see the world that way, who believe in that. For everything that you put out, it will return to you. So this could be about manifestation, imagining what it is that you want and believing that it is real, believing that you have it in your hand and that it will be so. Maybe you feel like things are not fair, and that is a hurdle. That is a hindrance. I know that it has been for me in the past to feel like I've put so much work and effort into something with little to no returns. That can be a huge discouragement, a huge hurdle, an obstacle. And it takes courage to keep going when you feel like the world just isn't fair. Maybe you or someone you love has an illness and that doesn't feel fair. Maybe that is somehow becoming an obstacle as well. So this is an encouragement that what you put out will come back. The energy that you spend towards your dreams, it will come back to you, even if it hasn't yet. Don't let your limiting beliefs, your mental or physical health, make you lose faith in your dreams. Don't let them make you think that anything is impossible. Because there are blessings coming. There is a rainbow at the end of the storm, a light at the end of the tunnel, a silver lining. Blessings are coming to you. So be courageous and believe in the impossible. I don't know whether this is recovered health, mental or physical, or whether it's material abundance, but whatever is holding you back right now, the mental or physical hurdles, the belief that things are just not fair and not working. Because as this card denotes, it's something that's happened over and over and over and over. You're caught in a feedback loop, a negative cycle of things not working, or ill health, or these ideas that keep repeating and hammering the point home that what you want is impossible. But blessings are coming. And that you are being watched over and cared for. You're being cared for by those that you can't see. Angels and divine guidance by the Creator. But this is also a card about self-care. Clearly there is a need for self-care, or even asking for help from others if you need it because of the health issues. The mental or physical health barriers, hurdles, obstacles. Take the time to care for yourself. You need to care for your vessel, your vehicle, your body, in order to make the impossible possible. Or maybe for you, what you feel is impossible is to obtain health and wholeness. But just believe that it's possible. Luck is on your side. Take the time you need to care for your body, mind and soul. And going along with that idea is breach, which means to take a rest, take a break, go on a holiday if you need to. Do something that you haven't done before. Allow yourself to break free from the shackles. Now we'll dig a little deeper with the tarot. We have Two of Cups reversed, and that is about, the Two of Cups is about partnership, about love. It can be self-love, unconditional love. It's about a relationship, soulmates. This could be about a breakup, a separation. Maybe that is what contributed to the mental health concerns. Maybe that's, for some of you, what this never-ending story is. Perhaps a toxic or unhealthy relationship, which is a hurdle. Maybe for some of you, this is about a relationship that is experiencing a hurdle and you are near separation or in separation. That's what this break is about. Taking a break and needing self-care and recovery and unhealthy thought patterns. Maybe it's a marriage that is rocky and you both want it to work, but it feels impossible. That might be a possible storyline. Two of Cups can also be about collaboration or partnership. And when it's in reverse, it can mean that there's misunderstandings or arguments. So it doesn't have to be a relationship. But for some of you, perhaps your hurdle is an argument or confrontation that happened, a misunderstanding, and you're on a break or taking some time apart in separation. And it's required every last ounce of courage you have to stick with it or try to fix it, and it feels impossible. but blessings are coming. So that might be one side story, but not necessarily everyone's story. And we have the Page of Pentacles, which is the offer of a new opportunity, a new friendship, a new job, new money. It can be health, the offer of health, anything that's in the material realm. And when it's a page, that can mean a childlike energy or youth, or it can mean immaturity. I think for those of you who picked pile number 3, whatever it is you want, you believe it's impossible. And that is your hurdle. I think these two cards go together, which is that there's this idea, there's something you want, whether it's health or to get back together with your partner, business partner, romantic partner, or a friendship, to regain mental or physical equilibrium, balance, to gain courage. Whatever it is, you believe it's impossible, and that if you were to get it, it would just create imbalance. So Two of Pentacles, this guy is struggling to maintain balance between these two pentacles. And the rough waters in the background shows that it's a very precarious kind of situation. So there's sort of this negative feeling attached to the dream, the belief, the idea of whatever it is you want. You believe that it will just cause imbalance. Or this could mean that you are warring between that pentacle that you want and what you feel is reality, what you feel is what is possible versus what you think is impossible. And you're at war with the idea. You believe you can't have both, that you have to juggle them. I don't know if this makes sense to anyone. Hopefully it does. You just never know with these kinds of readings. Then the last card we have from this tarot portion is the Hanged Man, which is seeing things from a different perspective. And yeah, that's exactly what you're being invited to do, is to become healed, whether it's physically or mentally, to become healed from unhealthy thought patterns and beliefs. Or whether it's for a relationship to heal. Whatever it is that you want, you believe it's impossible. So you need to turn things around and see things from a different, enlightened, awakened perspective. And to believe that it is possible. What I'm saying might sound impossible to you, but it really is just a flick of a switch, a change of a thought pattern. You can change the way, you can literally change the way you think simply by changing the way you think. It sounds redundant, but we do have the power and ability to literally rewire our neural pathways in our brain simply by thinking new thoughts repeatedly, simply by seeing things from a different perspective. And the Hangman is the energy of someone who is just tired. They've been strung up by other people, but they didn't resist. They sort of look at it as, okay, well, if this is where life has put me, then I'm going to just hang here for a while and think about things. And while he's upside down, he attains enlightenment. He gains courage. He becomes no longer afraid of death and transformation. And this in-between deck, this is actually in between death and temperance, which is divine intervention. As you can see, the clouds hinting at the angel coming to make adjustments to a situation, to bring balance and healing back into a situation. So this is an encouragement that there is help. As I said from this card, there is divine help coming your way with the situation that you feel is impossible. You can transform your thought patterns, because death is about transformation and rebirth, as you see the phoenix rising. And you are on your way to allowing divine intervention, to be open to adjustments that need to be made in your life, in your thought patterns. And we have 6 of Swords, which is leaving a negative situation for a better situation. In the traditional tarot, it's a man rowing a woman and her child in a boat from choppy waters to calm waters. In this particular deck, there's this ongoing storyline of a Roman centurion, and he just got out of an ambush, and he's regrouping himself to get ready for the 7 of Swords, which is actually the card of reclaiming the swords that were lost in the 5 of Swords. Getting back what was taken, getting back what was stolen. He's mentally preparing himself to do something that some people might talk him out of. Some people might say, don't do it, it's too risky, it's impossible. But he's gaining the courage to go ahead and do it anyway, because it's his last-ditch effort. And he knows that luck is on his side. Now, I'm not going to tell you how the Swords storyline ends in this particular deck. That's not relevant right now because we didn't get those cards. But this card is about gaining the confidence, strategizing, regrouping, thinking of a new way to attain the goal. And he has to believe that his plan is going to work because look, he's outnumbered. He's outnumbered by all of these, the enemies, the naysayers, the people who might tell you that it's impossible to recover from this illness, it's impossible to get better, it's impossible to do that thing, whatever that thing is. But Spirit is encouraging you to have gumption and courage and not let your belief in the impossible be the hurdle that gets the final word. So for our animal cards, we have the Roadrunner. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. Interestingly, in pile number 2, we got the Dolphin, which is about playfulness and having fun. So it seems that the underlying theme is always to find a way to have fun and laugh and be happy, because man, I'd be lying if I said there was nothing to worry about in the world right now. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of negative things going on in the media, and a lot of people's mental health is being affected. I mean, I woke up literally 2 days in a row to my radio alarm talking about stabbings that have happened. And that's not a great way to wake up and start your day, let me tell you. So it's very important to remain lighthearted and have a sense of humor. And also, you know, shut off the social media if you need to. Take a break from the screens and take some time outside to be with Mother Earth, to be with Gaia, and to focus on your mental and physical health. Next, we have the Blue Heron. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. Yes! Can I get a heck yes? Wow, that's exactly what we were talking about here, right? Make a stand. He's literally preparing himself, mentally preparing himself to take a stand and take back what is his, in spite of any judgment or disapproval or fear, right? Beautiful. I love the Blue Heron, and herons are a very strong energy. They are a strong spirit animal. They are not afraid to be alone. They're lone hunters, and they move to the beat of their own drum. They know who they are and what they believe in. And we have Fox. Yes, adaptability, adapt to the changes that are happening. And also be sly as a fox. Sometimes in order to do the impossible and believe in the impossible, we have to be resilient. We have to be sly and wily and clever. We have to be flexible and adaptable. And last, we have some Archangel Michael cards. We have the energy healing work. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me. Oof, I feel like I need to read this while holding the health card. This is really about the physical and mental health. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. If you are already seeking healing work, this is an encouragement to continue that, even if you feel like it's not working or doing anything, or to pursue a different route, whether it's Reiki or craniosacral therapy, or to see a chiropractor, physiotherapist, hypnotherapist, mentor, whoever it is, whoever can help you with healing your energy so that you can be more positive, have a high vibration. And that will certainly help you as well. Believe in the impossible, believe in your dream. And then we have the situation is already resolved. Oh, I love this card. I give any worries, cares, and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this, whatever the situation is, in a divinely perfect way. So, wow. What this could mean for some of you is that whatever it is that you want, that you think is impossible, it's already done. It's already been made possible. You just need to attain it or see it or grab it or just take a few steps that are left to complete the process. Because luck is on your side. Believe in the impossible. Because really nothing is impossible in this amazing universe that God created. Believe that it's already resolved. Maybe it won't be resolved in the way that you think, but it's already been taken care of in a way that will help you attain health and wholeness, hope and faith. Best of luck to you in this situation, and just believe. Hello, pile number 4, my Hematite group. Oh, I still have the Sodalite here. I'm just going to move that out of the way and put that there. All right, so let's see what Spirit has to say for you, pile number 4s, about what is your greatest hurdle. The first card out is service. I feel good when I can help others. So that doesn't seem like a hurdle yet. Let's just keep going. Emotions are running high. So this could be, there's something going on in your life where emotions feel raw right now, or someone around you, their emotions are raw, and you have to sort of tiptoe around that person. Or you also want to be careful you don't blow events out of proportion or over exaggerate anything, and that there's something really obvious that's right under your nose. Those are some of the elements of this card. You guys got a lot of Moonology cards. We also got the end of a tough cycle approaches. So obviously you've gone through something difficult. Hold your vision. This is a card about maintaining your dream and not losing hope for something that you're working towards or hoping for. The idea that your dream is possible even though you might not see it. It's about not giving up. And maybe in this tough cycle that you were in where emotions are running high, you thought about giving up. Show the world the real you, which is about being genuine and authentic and not making yourself small for others, not wearing a mask or trying to be someone you're not. And the last Moonology card we have is step out of your comfort zone. This seems like a hurdle that maybe you are sticking to where it's safe, where it's familiar, where it's comfortable. And this is a north node. I've explained this card in other readings, and the South Node is sort of your familiar behaviors, the way you were as a child, your autopilot reactions to things. The South Node is where you've come from, and the North Node is where you're headed. It's sort of your soul goal. Lessons that you hope to learn. So for example, if you were somebody who's shy and reserved, and that's your sort of comfort zone, to be introverted, then your goal might be to learn to be extroverted and be in the spotlight and be in the public eye, which would definitely be stepping out of your comfort zone if you were an introvert or someone who's used to a private life. That's just an example, of course. But that's what this card is about, is doing something that scares you. So maybe in this case, for pile number 4, you're somebody who is very stuck to your comfort zone. Whatever that is, you're stuck to your South Node way of being, the way you're used to being. But that isn't the real you. You're being encouraged to figure out the real you and let that part of you shine. Now we got a few Wisdom of the Oracle cards, the first one being Higher Power. She's got a keyhole going right into her third eye, which indicates an awakening, enlightenment. The essential meanings are conscious contact with a higher power, the presence of the divine, seeing source energy in all things, committing to a partnership with spirit. The Oracle's message is this card reminds you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen for yourself and others. Oh. Can I just point out, this might be where the service card comes in, helping others. Okay. You have an immortal soul and are gifted with a human life, which a higher power can express itself. At this time, you need to be conscious of your connection to spirit and foster it through prayer and meditation. Ask, what is the highest good for all? How can I serve? Then get out of your own way and trust that there's a plan for your life, more wondrous than you can ever know. You're always protected and divinely directed. Okay, so it seems like your calling might be to be of service to others in some way, in your hurdle, which seems to be not being your authentic self, is what is preventing you from fully being in service to others. That could be what's going on here, but let's uncover a little more here. 22, which reduces to 4, and that's balance and building foundations. Blessed. Essential meanings are something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from spirit. The Oracle's message is, there are moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. Okay, so we have 2 cards that are about higher power and guidance and intervention. Okay, so this seems to be a more spiritually focused message for those of you who picked pile 4. And it's funny that I mentioned that 2 and 2 reduces to 4 because now we have building blocks. I had said that 4 means building foundations, and that's what this card is, building foundations. Essential meanings, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. Wow, there's a lot of nice synchronicities in this reading so far. The Oracle's message is you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life. Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. Okay. I'm getting the sense that this is about changing yourself, but not for the wrong reasons. Not to please others, but that there's an element of who you are that hasn't been completely genuine or honest. You've lived your life in your comfort zone, but by doing that you have stifled who you are meant to be. And I think you know that. I think you know that there's a part of you that wants to come out. I don't know if this means a gender change, but there's something you have to offer the world, and you can do it in the best way by being your real, true, authentic self. And I think by being that way in a public way, it will be of service to others, perhaps because you will set an example. Maybe this shift has something to do with your spiritual beliefs. Maybe we're talking about awakening and enlightenment. Maybe you're feeling rumblings and stirrings inside your heart, inside your soul. But then what's the hindrance? What is the hurdle? And we got clouds, shape-shifting, which is about being adaptable and flexible, stretching your boundaries. I feel led to read from the Earth Magic book here. In both subtle and more dramatic ways, you could shape-shift by your choice of clothing, hairstyle, adornments, and even mannerisms, such as facial expression, gestures, and the way you walk. By adjusting these along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. When you experiment with these variations of self-expression that are not how you ordinarily present yourself, others will react to you, depending on the degree in which your persona contrasts with the one they are most familiar with. Be like the clouds as you try out different forms, stretching your limits at times, willing to move and adjust as necessary. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall such that your chest and heart open to the world, and note how this feels. You may feel vulnerable at first, but stay with it. Then let your shoulders fall forward slightly. Pull your chest inward an inch or two and let your head drop a little. Observe how this feels. Experiment with contracting your aura, which is your energy field, then expand it as far as you comfortably can. By this kind of shapeshifting, you can consciously choose your expression into the world. Just remember who you are at the core, because who you are at the core is the real you. This is a very interesting read. You're being encouraged to let your real authentic self out, but that's going to involve some inner and outer changes, but they're positive changes. And maybe this is why emotions are running high and there's a tough cycle, because there's been cognitive dissonance, there's been an existential crisis, perhaps a personality crisis, a midlife crisis, a sense of something's not right. There's a part of you that's been screaming to come out, and you haven't wanted to let that part out because you're in your comfort zone. But you're being encouraged to try on different ways of being, like you would try on a different set of clothes, like a fashion show. And pay attention to what you're drawn to. It's a little bit about manifestation as well, that it's like dressing for the job you want, acting for the dream you want, walking confidently and acting as though that you've already achieved your dreams. So maybe it's your inhibitions that are hindering you, your fear at what that would mean to change yourself. In this day and age, a lot of people are going through drastic changes, whether internal or external. And more people feel like they don't belong to their body. They don't feel at home in their body or in their gender or who they were raised to be, maybe in the religion they were raised in, or the spiritual practices that they were following. These are polarizing times. when we are all being made to question who we are. What do we stand for? What do we believe? I really do get the sense that for you who were drawn to pile number 4, that you were looking to change something significant about yourself, and you're concerned about if you'll be able to do that, how that will be responded to. But this is something that's being divinely guided, and the foundations are already being built towards this new way of being, which again I think will be helpful to other people. You have something that you'll be able to teach other people who are going through similar changes or shifts or asking similar questions. Your hurdle is perhaps how much work it will be, as this 7 of Pentacles is about evaluating how much effort you want to put into something and questioning whether it's worth the effort, if the goal is worth the effort that it's going to take. As you can see, he's like, oh boy, that's a lot of work for just one pentacle. Do I really have to do the rest? But if it's something that you really want to do, then it's worth it. But you need to figure out if that's something you want to invest your time and energy in. I don't know if it's something that would cost money. I don't know if it's something that would lose friends or your status. I don't know what it would mean. But maybe that's a hurdle as well, is thinking about how much work it'll actually be. But you're being encouraged to take a leap of faith. Leave behind all your concerns and your worries. Hold your vision as you trust in the divine and just go for it. It's interesting. I'm holding this card because the Fool holds a white rose. And the white rose to me symbolizes the dream, the hope, the idea of better days, better times, a better way of being. And he's taking that with him. He has his worldly possessions on him, which isn't much at all. And he has the rose. And the rose comes up later in the tarot cards as a reminder that you're being divinely nudged back towards that goal if you veered off the path. So essentially he's holding his vision. He's holding his dream, not taking a whole lot with him, because if you're going to make a drastic change in who you are and do a lot of internal clearing and releasing and cleansing and shifting, then there won't be a whole lot to take with you into this new life, into this new world, as you follow your dream and your vision. It is a risk. It's always a risk to make big lifestyle changes. But it is divinely guided. I get you got two cards about that it's something that will help others somehow. And then for further clarification with a different tarot deck, we have Queen of Wands. It's interesting that this would come up because she's looking at the scale model of her future enterprise that she's going to be ruling over, which is again foundation. And as you can see, there's 4 pillars. She's learning the structure. She's learning the system so that she can someday rule and someday become king. In this deck of cards, gender doesn't really matter. King or queen can be female. I'm really getting a sense of gender, exploring gender. That's not going to be the case for everyone. And if you pick pile number 4 and you're saying, that's not me, I'm not exploring that, that's okay. There may be other parts of this reading that do apply to you. It's not necessarily just about that. It's about something significant, internally or externally, that you are looking to change. And your hurdle is just wrapping your mind around just how big that would be, what that would involve, and whether it would ostracize you in some way or cause you to have to start all over again, which is the energy of the Fool as well. It's a brand new beginning. It's zero. It's the very beginning of the tarot cycle and the end again of the major arcanas. So it is a new beginning, which is why it requires blind faith. We also got 5 of Cups, which is the energy of mourning the loss of something that you loved. It's about losing friendships. Yeah, I think this is what I was just saying. I think this is one of the hurdles, the worry, because it's 3 in traditional tarot. It's a person crying over 3 spilled cups, but they're so distraught and filled with grief over the lost 3 cups that they fail to see the 2 upright full cups behind them. So it's the notion of looking too much to the past and grieving the past and not seeing what you do have, not seeing what you still do have. But it's also about, it can be about losing friends and being ostracized, because in this particular deck, the storyline in the cups is that she and her husband had a fight and she left him and she went and found someone else. So there is this energy of betrayal and grief, but also new hope. And this clay pot on her head represents hope. It represents the dream that is being threatened by fear of loss. It's being threatened by the grief and the worry about what you might lose. But not to worry, because 10 of Cups is next, where she actually reconciles with her husband, and then they have another child on the way. And this glow from the lake is reminiscent of the Ace of Cups, which is the divine gift of emotional abundance, of love, self-love and unconditional love. There's a happy ending here. There's reconciliation. There's a sense of completion and oneness, whatever that means to you. And then we have the Polar Bear. Stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to outcome. Yeah, this is about standing up for your dream, being your authentic self, showing the world the real you, which is speaking your truth, but doing it respectfully and compassionately. And having no attachment to outcome, because one of your hurdles is the concern over what will happen when you make this shift, when you make this change, this transition. So you need to have no attachment to outcome as you are anticipating this change, and to not worry about what will happen, because it's more important that you make that change if that is what your heart and soul are telling you to do, and if that is what you feel you are divinely guided to do. We also have the Cat. It's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your overdependency on others. Yeah, that's just another way of saying you be independent and stand up for yourself and not worry about what others think. And the thing is, if you lose friends, family, if you lose your job, lose your status, if you lose something over this change that you do in your life, it could even be a job change. I mean, in some families, in some cultures, you know, there are such high expectations over what kind of job to get, how much money to make. It could be something as simple as changing a job and not meeting the approval of your parents, feeling a sense of being ostracized in that way. So even if that does happen, you will find a new tribe. You will find other friends, other people who you can call family. There will be people to support you in doing this change. We have a couple Archangel Michael cards to close the reading with. Ask Archangel Michael to help you with this situation. The prayer is, Archangel Michael, thank you for assisting me with whatever your situation is. Please help me be filled with faith and peace at all times. So there is so much divine assistance here. again, you're being asked to ask for help. Regardless of your, the belief system that you are comfortable with, if you don't normally ask for higher guidance or pray or meditate, certainly no one can tell you to do that unless you already are leaning that way. But if you are interested in exploring that, you're being strongly encouraged to do that. To ask for help from higher guidance. And we have your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. In case you were wondering, whether or not it's Archangel Michael, or Jesus, or Buddha, or Guru Nanak, whoever it is that you might pray to. You also have your higher guidance, your higher self, your intuition. And the prayer is, please help me clearly hear, see, feel, and know the divine guidance that I have asked and prayed for. Allow me to keep my ego out of the way so your wisdom can come streaming through me for my own benefit and for those around me. So here we are coming full circle back to this idea of service, helping others. So there's something about this shift, this transition, this change, this transformation that you're doing in your life, whether it's internal or external, that is going to be helping others. And it has something to do as well with it has to do with spirituality, or you're being invited to ask for help from guides and guardians and angels in this process, in this change. I really hope this means something to some of you, because I know this seems vague, but this seems big. I can feel the energy of this. It feels big, whatever it is. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good, and it's going to end well, but it is going to be challenging. And there is going to be challenges on the way. I'm not going to lie. Your whole world is going to change. But whatever it is you're changing, it's going to help others. So your hurdle is worrying about all the changes and how much work it's going to be and what you're going to lose in the process. And certainly it's going to involve stepping out of your comfort zone, which is another hurdle. And showing the world the real you, which is always a little bit scary. And if you're going to be somewhat in the spotlight, then that is certainly something to be intimidated by. But you have a lot of help. And the other reason why I think this is going to be big is because you have a lot of cards that talk about higher guidance and help. And even with the Queen of Wands, how it's depicted in this card, she's looking at the foundations of her palace or her business, her enterprise, and learning the ropes so she can take over one day. Maybe this even means becoming the CEO of a company. So maybe some of you watching this are about to step into a much higher position at your job, and you are being encouraged to actually change your behaviors to fit the role. Maybe it means having to mature more or learn the practices and policies of that business or that corporation. It seems big. And even if it isn't big on a worldly scale, like working for Disney or Google, it's going to be big for you, regardless of how many people are aware of your work and influence. Even if you help one person, that is just as important as 1,000 people. So regardless of how big this actually is, you will be of service to others as soon as you embrace the real you, the role you were destined to play, the shoes you were meant to fit into. I could go on and on about this. I had no idea where this was going to go before. But if you pick pile number 4, and if this resonates at all, then there's some big changes coming. So all the power to you, and you do have higher divine power, and you are blessed in so many ways. And there's a lot of good coming, but there will also be challenges, and I've already said that. I'm starting to repeat myself. I hope this was helpful. Best of luck to you as you go about these changes and follow your destiny. Love and light to you. Help me out here. We got Manatee. Accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. No, I don't want to have the Manatee in this reading. I don't agree with that. Bye-bye. Have a high vibration.